Good day, everyone. I am Deji Damolo, taking a Bachelor of Physical Education, first year college, University of Cebu main campus. So, for today's new lesson, I am going to tackle with you about Ausebel's meaningful verbal learning.
Let's begin.
Here are the most important single factor influencing learning is what the learner already knows. Ascertain this and teach him accurately by David Ausebel. Learning theory. First, learning of new knowledge relies on what is already known. Second, construction of knowledge begins through with us observation and recognition of events and objects through concept we already have. And lastly, concept map developed by Ausebel and Novak. It is a way of representing relationships between ideas, images, or words. Ausebel believes that learning on new knowledge relies of what is already known. That is, construction of knowledge begins with our observation and recognition of events and objects through concepts we already have. We learn by constructing a network of concepts of adding to them. So, this is David P. Ausebel. David P. Ausebel was born in 1918 and grew up in Brooklyn, NY. He attended the University of Pennsylvania, majoring in psychology for pre-med and eventually became a psychiatrist. He earned a PhD in developmental psychology from Columbia University. A series of psychological professorships ensued in schools of education, the University of Illinois, University of Toronto, and in the European universities at Bern, the Celestial University of Rome of the Officers Training College at Munich. He retired from professional life in 1994 to devote himself full-time at the age of 75 to writing for books resulted. The Subsumtion theory. This theory is applied in the Advanced Organizer, a strategy developed by Ausebel. It is based on the idea that an individual's existing cognitive structure, organizational stability, and clarity of knowledge in a particular subject is the principal and basic factor influencing the learning and retention of meaningful new material. It describes the importance of relating new ideas to students' existing knowledge base before the new material is presented. New material can be subsumed in two different ways, and for both of those, no meaningful takes place unless a stable cognitive structure exists. This existing structure provides a framework into which the new learning is related hierarchically to the previous information or concepts in the individual cognitive structure. The focus Ausebel theory. The most important factor in influencing learning is the quantity, clarity, and organization of the learner's present knowledge. This comprises his or her cognitive structure. Ausebel's belief of the use of advanced organizers is anchored on the principle of subsumption. He thought that the primary way of learning was subsumption, a process by which new material is related to relevant ideas in the existing cognitive structure. Likewise, Ausebel pointed out that what is learned is based on what is already known. This signifies that one's own prior knowledge and bias limit and affect what is learned. This is the fourth process of meaningful learning. So, the first one, derivative subsumption. Describe the situation in which the new information you learn is an example of a concept that you have already learned. This is the example of derivative subsumption. Let's say you have acquired a basic concept such as a bird. You know that a bird has feathers, a beak, lay eggs. Now, you learn about a kind of bird that you have never seen before. Let's say a blue jay. That confirms to your previous understanding of bird. Your new knowledge of blue jay is attached to your concept of bird without altering that concept in any way. So, and in Ausebel's theory, you have learned about blue jays through the process of derivative subsumption. This is the second one, correlative subsumption. Describe the accommodation of new information by changing or expanding the concept. This is an example of correlative subsumption. Now, let's say you see a new kind of bird that has a really big body and long strong legs. It doesn't fly but it can run fast. In order to accommodate this new information, you have to change or expand your concept of bird to include the possibility of being big having long legs. You have learned about this new kind of bird through the process of correlative subsumption. In a sense, you might say that this is more valuable learning than that of derivative subsumption since it enriches the higher level concepts. So, this is the third one, subordinate learning. Subordinate learning is when you know a lot of examples of the concept but did not know the concept itself until it was taught to you. This is an example of subordinate learning. Imagine that a child was well acquainted with banana, mango, dalandan, guava, etc. But the child did not know until she was taught that these were all examples of fruits. In this case, the child already know a lot of examples of the concept but did not knowledge the concept itself until it was taught to her. This is a subordinate learning. So, lastly, combinatorial learning. This is when newly acquired knowledge combines with prior knowledge to enrich the understanding of both concepts. So, this is an example of combinatorial learning. For example, to teach someone about how plants breathe, you might relate it to previously acquired knowledge of human respiration where man inhales oxygen and exhales carbon dioxide. Advanced Organizer. The Advanced Organizer is a major instructional tool proposed by Ausebel. The Advanced Organizer gives you two benefits. You will find it easier to connect new information with what you already know about the topic, and you can readily see how the concepts in a certain topic are related to each other. As you go about learning about topic and go through the core learning processes, the Advanced Organizer helps you think the new learning to your existing set. So, there are 4 types of Advanced Organizer. First, expository. Describe the new content. And the second, narrative. Presents the new information in the form of a story to students. And third, skimming is done by looking over the new material to gain a basic overview. And the last 3, graphic organizer. Visuals to set up or outline the new information. This may include pictographs, descriptive patterns and concept patterns, and concept maps.
One of the most important learning theories for teaching or learning more knowledge in less time is Ausebel's. Rather than application, developing pupils' thinking skills requires particular education and practice. That is for today's lesson. I hope you learned something. See you in my next one. Goodbye!